What if I told you today that one of the biggest parental mistakes is clearly written in the Bible, and yet many families still repeat it today without even realizing it? The surprising thing is that it happened in some of the most well-known families in the scripture. In this video, I want to share how reading the Bible together as a family has been transforming the way my husband and I parent our children, and how one powerful lesson we discovered in the book of Genesis completely changed the way we homeschool our kids. And the parenting mistake we're talking about is favoritism between children. Back in 2020, during the COVID lockdown, our family started something simple. We began to read the Bible together, starting from Genesis chapter 1. And almost every day, we will gather as a family and read the Bible together. And now, here in 2026, we still have not finished reading the entire Bible yet. But something beautiful has happened along the way. As we were reading the book of Genesis, God began to speak to my husband and I about parenting through the families that we read about in the book of Genesis. And one lesson stood out so strongly to us. And honestly, it was a little uncomfortable to see, because it is a mistake that many parents still make today. While reading Genesis, we noticed the pattern in several families. For example, Isaac favored Esau more than Jacob, and Rebekah, his wife, favored Jacob over Esau. And later, after Jacob had his own children, he clearly loved Joseph more than his other sons. That favoritism created jealousy. It created rivalry and even hatred between siblings. Esau and Jacob had intense conflict. And for Joseph, his brothers hated him so much that they sold him into slavery. And here is what really struck us. Jacob himself grew up in a family that was affected by favoritism. Yet he repeated the same mistake with his own children. And that made my husband and I to pause and ask ourselves a serious question. Could we unknowingly repeat the same patterns in our own family? As God began to teach my husband and I through these stories, my husband and I made a decision. We made a decision that we would intentionally guard our hearts against favoritism. We decided that neither of us would have a favorite child, and we truly try our best to love each of our children equally, because we want our children to grow up loving one another and not competing against each other. We never want to sow seeds of jealousy, comparison, or resentment among our kids. And this lesson didn't just affect our parenting, but it completely changed the way we approach homeschooling. In our homeschool, we try very hard not to compare our children with each other. Thank you so much. I hope you have been enjoying this video so far. I just want to encourage you to like this video and also to subscribe. Subscribe. Have you subscribed yet? Thank you so much, and let's continue with the video. You won't hear me say things like, "Look at your brother. Why can't you understand this like him?" Or, "Your sister writes so neatly. Why can't you just write like her?" Or, "At your age, your older siblings were already doing this." Some parents say things like this, thinking that it will motivate their child. But in reality, comparison often discourages children. It can make them feel like they are not good enough. And sometimes it can even cause them to resent the sibling that they are being compared to. And when we looked back at the stories in Genesis, we realized that the Bible had already shown us the outcome of comparison and favoritism. In the Bible, we see that Isaac favored Esau and his wife Rebekah favored Jacob. And Jacob favored Joseph. And the result was broken relationships between siblings. When we saw that pattern, it became a warning for us as parents. So daily, my husband and I depend on the grace of God to love each one of our children well, because each child is different and they learn differently. They grow at different speeds, and that is okay. When we focus on encouraging each child and helping them develop their unique strengths, they begin to flourish. At the end of the day, homeschooling for us is not just about academics, but rather it is about raising children who love God and love each other, and children who will be matured in their faith. Because we're not just educating our children, but we are raising warriors for Christ. If this message has blessed and encouraged you, I would love to know in the comments. And I want to know whether you have learned any parenting lessons directly from the Bible. I will really love to hear your experience. And if you enjoy content about homeschooling and raising children with biblical wisdom, I encourage you to subscribe to this channel. Thank you so much again, and be on the lookout for my next video. God bless you. Bye.